What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Real quick, I want to go ahead and get something done before we officially start the show. Yesterday on the 17th, superstar Billy Graham passed away. So at this point in time, we would like to exercise a moment of silence for him. So here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome to the show. It is time for the Thursday night indie spotlight, and tonight we're kicking it off with a special guest. We are bringing you a very, very important piece of information. Take a look at this. Overdriver LLC. Welcome to the show, Mr. Bill Wright. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much for having me, Saint. It's a blessing to be here.
Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to join me. So, Overdriver LLC, this thing is catching fire quick, fast, and in a hurry. You guys have had a lot of people answering surveys and a lot of people uh, giving input, thoughts, feedback, and everything. I know I've had at least three conversations with your other half as well about this, and I mean, you and I've been back and forth for at least the last month about this.
Yes, sir.
So it's one of those things where looking to grow and develop independent professional wrestling. Now, would you like to elaborate on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think more than anything, Overdriver, it's the idea of a movement, which is that professional wrestling as a whole, as an industry, it can be better. And in order to make it better, there are technological tools that we can introduce to the right people in the business to help make professional wrestling more efficient, more transparent, and more profitable. And that is kind of our mission and what we've set out to do. Partly because I've been involved in the business and I've seen some of the best of it and I've seen some of the worst of it. And I feel like it's just time for us to continue what we do as an industry and to evolve with technology and to really push the independent circuit to the next level.
Okay. Now, this application doesn't just apply to, the wrestlers or the promoters. This applies to everybody, fans included.
That's correct, sir. Yeah, absolutely. The mobile app is designed to handle three pillars: wrestling fans, because without them, there is no industry, right? And the wrestling fans then become wrestlers or they become promoters. And so, what we're trying to do on that end, and what it's going to do specifically for fans, it's going to give you a platform, which is, if you will, a social platform specifically for professional wrestling, to find the shows that you love, to find the wrestlers that you love, and to be able to follow them in a way that's even easier than before. One of the things that we've been asked on a couple of occasions is, how is that different than if I just Google it? And the answer to that is you can, but you're not always going to find what you're looking for. To this day, we've probably picked up 5 new posts on Facebook, people saying, I'm traveling to this area. I'm going to Charlotte. I'm going to, Atlanta. What's good wrestling in that area? You figure instead of just asking Facebook, you could just Google it, but it doesn't always come up. And what we're trying to do is create a platform where you're going to be able to find, not only based on where you're at or where you're going, but what are you looking for? Do you want family wrestling? Are you looking for hardcore, adult oriented thematic wrestling? Are you looking for more sports entertaining? Are you more a traditionalist? And to be able to find those shows and then follow them so that your phone will give you a notification and tell you, hey, your favorite wrestler, Brina Royce, Crucifix, Josh Cutshall, they're wrestling in this area, and you can buy the tickets right through the platform and then scan it at the door to simplify the whole fan experience. And there will be, like the other features for wrestlers, for promoters, there's more to come, but that's where we're starting for the fan base.
Right. So you've got it set to where the fans can follow the talent and follow the promotions. That, like I say, I like that idea because it's going to help. It's just another form of advertisement, essentially.
Correct. Well, and it's exclusivity, which is something that I think everybody enjoys to an extent, because if you're on Facebook and you follow a promotion, you still have algorithms to get through, and if you follow enough promotions or enough hobbies or enough friends, it can take a while before, that federation you're looking for maybe pops up in the algorithm for you, because you have 1,000 voices shouting in the dark. Can you make any one of them out? And we're trying to give this platform to where it's like, yeah, you can still use Facebook and still use Google and all that, but this is going to be wrestling exclusive. You want to find wrestling, you want to be a part of wrestling. We're trying to pull all the resources into one spot and put it in the palm of your hand. And it can't be more convenient than that.
Very well said. You mentioned the algorithms. I predominantly do things that are focused on wrestling, independent wrestling, and things like this.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, predominantly the last 6 days has been Nintendo crossing my Facebook feed.
You must be a Zelda fan. Are you a Zelda? Big promotion going on. I see what happens there. But that voice is drowning out the others, right?
Right.
And that is part of the issue. And is it the worst thing in the world? No, it's not a cure to cancer, but it will help to elevate, because everybody in wrestling, including yourself, the podcasters, the influencers, the people that are making t-shirts, to the promoters, the wrestlers, you're working so hard. You deserve to get the attention of the people that want to hear from you. And we're just trying to kind of make that connection. And then we can talk about wrestlers and promoters as well.
Right. And, I appreciate that. I do try to make a lot of noise. That's why they put a microphone in my hand at most of the shows I go to.
Yes, sir.
So, and it works out. And not only that, but looking at it from a person trying to fill, gaps in a show, you'd be able to find even support staff on this thing.
That's correct.
You'd be able to find photographers, videographers, poster makers or graphic designers. It's essentially going to be a one-stop shop for everything pro wrestling.
That's correct. And while we have certain areas that we're focused on at the beginning, we have a lot in the vision of what the end product is going to be, and where we're going to be able to go to help this industry in its continued growth, because it's always going to be there. It's just to what form, to what level of popularity, and I think it helps to have a laser pointer for a sniper versus a spotlight. It can help you to hit your target a lot more accurately.
I've been using an analogy at work for the last month, and it was something I picked up when I worked near, around Marine Scout snipers and the military when I was working in Virginia. Aim small, miss small. And they were trying to figure out where my numbers were coming from. And I said, aim small, miss small. They're like, what do you mean? I said, I'm targeting exactly who I want to talk to and exactly why I need to talk to them to knock them out of the park. And so aim small, miss small is a definite, way to do business here. Now, we've got a couple of screenshots of this as well.
Sure.
That we've got set up. So this is the login screen.
That's correct. That's the initial prototype of login screen. The app that's beyond prototype is very, very similar to that. And the concept is that if you are, let's say, a promoter, but you also still work, you're still a talent, you can seamlessly jump back and forth between the two different tools that you need. Or if you're a fan, so let's say that you're not booked that night, you're not working that night, but there's a show you really want to go to, maybe you want to seamlessly order a ticket and scan it at the door. And maybe you don't even want to log in at all. Maybe you just want to buy that one ticket. Continuing as a guest will allow people that don't want to have profiles, or at least not yet, just get right to the show.
Very cool. Now, this looks to be a talent layout.
Yeah, so this is prototype layout. We've gotten a lot more specific in regards to it, but part of the concept overall is that, well, there's a couple of different things. So we'll talk about. So as a talent, of course, you're going to have a picture because you want to have a face to a name, right? And then the rating system, that's going to be involved so that as you continue to be, again, we'll go with a Luka Daniels that is continuing to get credit from federation to federation. They can go after having booked him, and they can go and give him a rating, and it tallies up, and then they can give a review as to why they praise him so much, so that other promoters know, hey, this guy's, he's the real deal. Yes, you have promoters that have networks and they can find people to fill slots, but this is going to give you a national database, and whether or not you've met the individual or even have them in the network, well, now you do, because now you have the whole network. It will also give wrestlers what we like to call the announcer card, because in a lot of cases you go from one federation to another and the announcer comes to you and he'll say, hey, what are your stats, height and weight, and where are you from? And if we have that built into the app, all you have to do is pull it up and it's already there. It doesn't matter where you go, your stats can follow you. And you'll be able to also get into a little bit of a bio, a little bit of your accomplishments, finishers, signatures. But what style do you do? Are you a heel? Are you a face? Are you heavyweight, lightweight? Are you okay with intergender matches? Are you okay with, hardcore matches? Do you specialize as a powerhouse, a submissionist? And that will allow promoters, as well as fans, to find the type of wrestler you are based on how you define your profile. So a lot of tools that we think are going to be able to help, and there will also be a calendar built in so that once you are booked, you can manage your calendar, you can manage your availability. And then once you are booked on a show, we have an automated secured payment system so that the promoter can focus on other things and not have to wait to hand an envelope at the door, but going into it that the money is on hold and ready to pour into your account once the show is finished and it's all secured and done with.
Now, that's a very good feature as well. I've been very fortunate with that aspect. I've picked my spot, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
And I've never had a bad deal, as far as I'm concerned, when it came to dealing with the promoter,
which is great.
Right. So I've been lucky in that aspect. The announcer card, I love that because at the that hour, the witching hour right before the bell hits, I'm backstage. Yes,
yeah, I know
backstage, running around like a chicken, chicken with its head cut off. We do have a question here that came up.
Sure.
Will wrestler profiles be able to host? I'm guessing that's promo pictures in their profiles.
Yeah, so we are going to allow some promo pictures involved. What we are currently doing is we're starting at a ground base, so we're not going to at the moment we're not going to allow, like, let's say 1,000 profile pictures. There are going to be some pictures you can put in there for the profile, so you can have some action shots as you if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see some action shots, and then the top of the screen you have kind of like the promo or profile picture available. And then as we continue to build the product and we continue to have users, we'll be able to expand on that. But we also have the social media function available so that you can connect to Crucifix's Facebook, Brina Royce's Instagram through here to get to the rest of their pictures, the rest of the videos that they want to do. But as we continue to grow, our media database is going to grow as well.
I'm a firm believer in Linktree. I have a Linktree, and I recommend that to almost everybody we meet and talk with. I'm like, if you don't have one, get one, because the QR code is money.
Right, absolutely.
All right, I put my QR code on my T-shirts.
That's brilliant, and that's what you should do. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you got to have an idea, you got to have originality. You have both of those. And I like I said, I like the idea, and the ability to add a couple of pictures is very cool. Now, when it comes to as far as the wrestler being able to fill in their information, is it things like would they be able to say, notable opponents trained by, X, Y, or Z, and been working X amount of years, or what kind of information will the wrestlers be able to have input on?
Yeah, so the primary functions that we focused on were going to be the announcer card information, your height, your weight, where you're from, where you hail from, because there's two geographic questions there. One is, where do you want to be from, like Death Valley, California, whatever. But where are you now? Because our system needs to know, like, if you're in Marion, North Carolina, and you say, I'm willing to drive within 90 miles for this rate, we have to have that pinpointed in the system to be able to determine what that radius is. And then does it need to charge extra when you go outside of that radius? And then of course promoters can negotiate with you on that part, because you're saying this is my price, this is what I charge. And then when they make you an offer, that maybe they say, hey, great, but I can do it for this price. And you can reject it, you can accept it, you can counter offer it. That will be there. We do have the intention to have accolades, so you'll be able to talk about some of your championships and rewards, your signatures and finishers, your preference style. And there's a variety of questions like that kind of built in to kind of walk you through it. And then there's the bio section where maybe we haven't built in the right question for you as of yet. That's what the surveys are for. And that's why we're asking, so you can give us the feedback. And once it is up, you'll be able to try it and you'll keep giving us feedback and we'll keep modifying it. But in the bio, you'll be able to say, well, here are the other things I want you to know that I wasn't able to fit in the questions.
That's excellent. I feel like social media is a great tool when it comes to, helping get your stuff out there. Um, but when it comes, like you said earlier, so much white noise in the algorithms. So
Right.
a lot of stuff gets lost. When you have one talent, one bio thing, and links to some of their work, even whether it was, if you made it, you said social media contact would be in their YouTube link. They could
Correct.
essentially, just drop their YouTube right there, and you could get right to them at all times.
Yeah. If you
Um,
want to dig deeper, dig deeper.
right now, when it comes to promotions, as a promotion,
Mm-hmm.
let's say, well, we'll use Pro Wrestling Union for example, or American Wrestling League, as their products are available on YouTube. After their shows occur, you know,
Sure.
Cole Maccabee does a weekly show in between. Well, he does a couple of shows in between the shows where he runs them live at Pro Wrestling Union, and he breaks them down into episodes to kind of fill the gap, keep content alive, keep the
Very
story
smart.
going.
Yeah. No, he's
Um,
a smart man. Yeah. He knows what he's doing.
yes, and Jimmy Ward and them at
Same thing.
AWL. Yep, they put theirs. They put out the whole big show shortly thereafter, and with the promotion, let's say AWL and CPW have this huge show coming up on June 3rd. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
And would you be able to go, okay, well, AWL is here. Let me go look. Oh, there's their YouTube. And you could go see, would the promoter have the same ability as the talent? I guess is the point of my question.
Right. So we built the system at the time, and again, that's why we're taking the surveys right now, because we're in the coding phase and we're able to consult with the team, and this is the time that we can make some changes. But we had built the promoter side to really focus on the promotion and the events. And with that being the case, that they do have the ability to upload some pictures. They're going to have the social outreach capability the wrestlers do, but they, and I will say other talent will have simpler profile questionnaires to fill out. They'll still be able to do the bio to explain more. But, with all due respect, the camera guy doesn't have a finisher to list. He doesn't have, a strong style to list. So we're keeping that clean and simple for both promoters and for other what we call support talent. but they will have a lot of the same features, just not as complicated a biography questionnaire.
Very cool. As long, like I say, as long as the information can get out there, that's what's going to, set the
Correct.
tone and set the pace,
Yeah.
because we're in the information age still. Unfortunately, a lot of information gets ignored. That's a problem. But I digress.
Well, and that's why we're doing this, right? Because
Right.
have you ever seen the Social Network movie based on Facebook?
Which one was it? The one with the serial killer in it?
No, 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 no. It was based on the invention of Facebook.
No.
Okay, so just like kind of in real short, when Zuckerberg was putting together Facebook, one of his partners kept coming at him, and we want to put in advertising. One of the things that he said within the movie that was very interesting was, well, we don't even know what it is yet. It hasn't fully evolved as of yet. And the question that I pose is, has social media really is are we done? We're not done. Like, it's going to continue to evolve. And I think focused social media is going to be part of that evolution.
I, I could see that. Like I say, there's a lot. There's a lot out there. I don't know even. I don't even know how to work half of the social medias. I'm not going to pretend. Snapchat, forget it. I don't know. I know it's there, and I click the buttons and I look at it. But now they got this chat AI thing, and I haven't even touched it. I'm like, yeah, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Then there's Hive, and there's Rumble, and there's all these. It's like, what more? What more do you need?
Right, right. So at this point, what I think we need is, I think our industry needs a home, that can benefit from using the others, but then can funnel back and find everything that you need in one place. That's what I think we need.
Very cool. I mean, that was the only movie I could think of with social media. I can't remember the name either. I think I watched. I think it had a sequel. It had two movies, and there was. They were like, I don't know. They were in a Zoom call or something, and they all got picked off. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
that was definitely not the direction I was going.
No, that was it.
Of
All
course,
right.
this guy brings up serial killers. Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Really?
I mean, we were just hanging out with guys from The Walking Dead, so what do you expect?
There you
Anyway,
go.
True.
anyway, so this is my co-host David Estacado.
How you doing?
David, pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure meeting you. Look, that was a lot of info, and that was a lot to kind of soak in. And I agree with you that we as an industry need a home, kind of like this. And I actually had a follow-up question. It was like, can we use this as a platform? Is this a way to put our, promos, posters, whether it be video uplink? Like, this is something new, and I think it'd be really, really big.
Yeah, so some of that is yes, and some of it is shortly thereafter. Where we're currently at, I don't know if I've covered this exactly before, but my wife and we're just normal people, not millionaires pouring in a ton of money into a project. We're people that just believe that professional wrestling deserves this. I believe that professional wrestlers, referees, commentators, announcers, they deserve this, and we're in a position to help. We have to have the starting point. So where that starting point is, we had talked about the fans. We just kind of went over what the talent will benefit from, the secure transactions, ratings, and reviews that they can also put on promoters, because you've got Jimmy Ward, Cole Maccabee, you've got Nick Nitro and Casey Land that are doing fantastic jobs. And they deserve to not just have somebody go onto Facebook and say, hey, I was at Pro Wrestling Union, I was at AWL or ACCW, and I had a great night, and have maybe their 5 or 15 friends hear it, and then it's just lost in the rest of the white noise.
True.
I want a place where they can go out and say, 5-star promoter, if you have a chance to work for them, do, and it stays there, and continues to build reputation instead of being lost in just a few comments. And the same to be said for some of the snake in the grass promoters that are like, hey, come to my show, and then, oh, I can't pay you what I had promised you, and I'm sorry, the gate wasn't what I had hoped for. And don't get me wrong, I think it is everybody's job to support the promotion, but it's the promoter's job to promote. and the wrestler comes in, they hit the ring, you get concussions and injuries, and you're risking everything. You deserve whatever you were promised. And if somebody doesn't pay you what was promised, there should be more than just going on Facebook and going into rant about, I don't like this promoter, I don't like that promoter. It should be, I gave this guy a 2-star rating because I drove 2 states over and he didn't pay me. And that's something to look out for, warning to the industry, and to stick around and to build out so that problems can weed themselves out. And then excellent promoters will be able to elevate and move to the next level and continue to get the reputation that they deserve beyond just a comment that may or may not get lost in algorithms.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome. It sounds almost like IMBD
Sure.
for indie wrestling in a sense. And
Yeah,
I think that's fantastic. And you're absolutely right. What better way to actually show support for a promotion, for a wrestler, just anybody in the industry, and kind of way hype them up, but also give them opportunities, because this kind of puts them out there, you know?
Absolutely. It takes a little bit of technology from a lot of different places and applies it to business that, let's be honest, we kind of tend to get overlooked sometimes.
We do.
Because we're wrestling, and almost everybody you talk to knows what we are. Not everybody admits to watching what we do. The ones that do look at us religiously, and the ones that don't look down on us, and we get kind of passed by on a lot of things. And what we're trying to do is take the things that are helping out Fiverr, helping out Airbnb, helping out these different kind of programs, and let's bring them here. Let's benefit our people. And then let's find a way to make more money doing it. Because if AWL, CPW, Pro Wrestling Union, ACCW, if they make more money, guess what? The wrestlers make more money. And if they make more money, then guess what? The business is growing and it's becoming profitable. And we're finding the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kenny Omega, Kevin Owens, whatever it is. We can't do that if we aren't working together and creating this kind of structure, because a lot of it just gets lost in translation. And that's unfortunate, because I've seen a lot of people just this week. I've seen a couple of people quit because the business has too much toxicity and not enough positive return. And we need to increase the positive influx into this business and pull some of the toxicity out, so that the people that deserve to make a living at this can make a living. And if we unite as an industry, and not everybody's going to jump on board, and I get that, but if the majority of us can say, let's work together, because it's pro wrestling versus everything. It always has been. It's pro wrestling versus boxing. It's pro wrestling versus football. It's pro wrestling versus the movies. Like, we need to work together to elevate and to dominate in any box office, or to dominate in any stadium. And that gets to the promoter tools, which, is again the ratings and the reviews and the database and the search system. But now they can also share their show with anybody they approve on Overdriver. So say Saint and David, let's say that you guys are working as staff, right? You're doing ring announcing and you're doing a podcast there, whatever staff position you have, or you're just helping just to help. They can send you the link to the next upcoming show that you've been hired for. You've been booked on the program, and now you're authorized to sell tickets. And what I mean by that is, you should never work for free. And we do, because we feel like we have to, but you shouldn't have to work for free. So if we could take a ticket, let's say $10, and move it up to $12, and then pay $2 to David for every ticket he sells, or we move it up to $15 and take $5, and Saint makes $5 for every ticket he sells, there's going to be hustlers. They're going to come out and push those tickets beyond any kind of advertising campaign that you normally get. And that will increase attendance, which will increase profitability for both the promoter, because you're not having to pour in extra capital. You're just sharing the prosperity. And now your promotion is going to grow, hopefully, faster. And the wrestlers are going to make more. And you'll find some wrestlers that'll make more selling tickets, putting the QR code on their T-shirt, doing what they can to make that money, as well as get paid for the job they're doing in the ring. And I feel like they deserve that. And I've collected already outstanding promoters that do not disagree.
That is bloody brilliant.
No,
And
It goes back to honest to God. It goes back to this weekend, a conversation that I had with Heath Slater. Heath Slater, saw myself, David, and my little girl, and we had a camera with us, and we were walking around the venue. And he goes, "Hey man, are you filming the show tonight?" And I said, "No, sir, I'm not." He said, "Oh man, well I figured with the camera and you guys over there, y'all were loud and y'all seemed like y'all had a blast." I'm like, "Oh, we've been
We
having a great
did.
time
Oh,
all
yeah.
day," because they could hear us. We were the loudest ones in the room, obviously, and we were having the most fun. We had the most people come to our table. It, I'm
And
not wrong when I say that,
that's not us,
but it's just
but
how we were.
yeah.
But anyway,
Right,
It's
right.
so
true.
we had a great time, and he said, "Well, I figured you'd be filming." I said, "No, sir, I wasn't hired for a task. I'm up here just like you guys. I bought a table and hung out for the day, and I'm getting ready to head home. I got to work in the morning." And he was like, "Where you going? Where are you going?" And I said, "Back to South Carolina. We're in Pigeon Forge, so I'm going back to South Carolina. I got to be at work I got to be in the office at 7."
Right.
He's like, "Okay, so cool for the dedication on being out here anyway." He said, "But if you were going to be working the show, wouldn't you stay?" I was like, "Oh, if I was working, most definitely I'd be here." I said, "But I'm not. I have other responsibilities." So in this case, you're putting more emphasis on the talent or the other people who have the ability to market the shows,
Correct.
and putting some profit in their hand for the effort that they're putting in, which
Right.
I think is fantastic.
Yeah, like which is basically what we do here, but it's just adding an extra element that's just able to everybody can win.
Yes.
And that's
And I
cool.
think that's fantastic. I mean, it makes our job easier,
Right.
because pretty much we're promoting not just the promotion, but the talent and ourselves. Because even in a way, just kind of us doing the podcast and then having that reaction. Oh, I thought you guys were recording. We could do that. We can go live and show the show and do the commentary, but we got to get paid.
Well, so McDonald's, probably one of my favorite, restaurants growing up as a kid. Never wanted to work there, ever, right? But my mom did.
First job.
It can be, right? So,
Yeah.
but I never wanted to work there, and part of it is my mom worked there. She worked there for years, and I saw how stressed she was. But I can guarantee you that she wouldn't show up if her manager said, "Hey, I'm going to pay you such and such an hour if I sell enough cheeseburgers." Never going to happen. Never going to happen, because every other job has to pay you to show up. And if they don't, they pay you based on your performance, not their performance. And that is where there's a little bit of a disconnect. And I'm going to show you one thing, not to be on too much of a rant, but
Rant away.
so.
this
That's
right
why you're
here
on here, man.
is a trophy that I got for being $1 million writer. And I wrote $1 million, over $1 million, almost 1.5 in a single year by myself, because I got paid to do it. Not because it was nice or fun or because I was hoping to do it. I was paid very well for my performance, and that inspired me to set a goal and to attain that goal. But without the motivation, which unfortunately for most of us is, I got kids to feed, I got rent to pay, we have a breakdown in the system. And all we're trying to do at Overdriver is take what drove me to do this, which was shared prosperity. Shared prosperity being the mentality that you make more money if everybody underneath you is making more money.
Exactly.
Big time. We're going to catch up on a few comments, and then we will go from there. Brino Royce chimed in. He said, "Gents, how you doing, brother Brino?"
How you doing, sir? How you doing?
Cole Magby said, "The periodic table of wrestling."
I like that.
Freight Train J said, "Pro wrestling versus everything." That's right. Madeline said, "Bloody brilliant. Love it."
Thank you.
KC said, "DX in the house." Not really. I don't remember telling anybody to suck it yet, but fair enough. Brino Roy said, "Y'all gonna have to stop. This sounds too much like a business." Hey, look, that's what the goal is.
You got me, Brino.
I'm gonna have to admit that it took me a second to kind of get that this is a business, and too much time I've kind of been putting others before me. I've been coming up short. And I know I kind of respect other people's mentality that they're treating this as a business, as a and
Absolutely.
there's certain things that you can do within a business that you can't give out too much info, you know. But at the same time, I also in the mindset that if I'm growing and I'm at the table and I'm eating, I want other people at my table to be eating with me.
Exactly. Because it's lonely alone.
Right. It is.
You know, and some people have that, mafia mentality, like, oh, you're talking about the family business, I don't like you, but I get it. But at the same time, if we all eat and we can all grow, we can all gain a lot of money out of this.
Well, yeah, there's that. There is that. You mentioned the mafia mentality, and anybody who says it's not, it is. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that mentality in this, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, and I'll tell you why I say that. Because look at the economy, right? There are two things in this world during a recession and even depression that were basically foolproof, and that was aspects of the entertainment industry and the mafia. Those were the two things that didn't really suffer much during recessions or depressions, and that's legitimate. So in our case in this industry, with the growth that it's seen over the last couple of years, it's on another rise.
Yeah,
The
it's
tide is
it's
going up
it's
again.
it's like a
Absolutely.
renaissance of wrestling right now. I mean, like we do say it every time we have this show. Throw
It's
a rock, we're in the mecca of wrestling right now.
it's yes, but it's going to crash again too. It may take the next 3 years. It maybe I'm hopeful when I say it's going to be longer than that. But the reality is, occasionally that crash has to happen to thin the herd because pretty soon everybody and their brother's going to run a wrestling promotion. And they're
True.
all going to be running on Saturday, and they're all going to be booking the same talent. And it'll be, well, you got uh, James over here, the first Saturday of the month, then the second Saturday of the month he's over here, third and fourth Saturday. It's just going to be a circuit for him to run.
But that's because there's no uniform system.
Right.
And that is where change can happen. If we can start here in giving a universal database and to give tools that help promoters, that help talent, and that help fans, and keep them all connected with a platform that's a home for an entire industry, just wait and see what we can grow into.
Oh, I like I said before, and this was a conversation said between you and I. If I have faith in something, I'm going to support it,
Yeah,
and we're here talking because I see the good in this. I see the
Same.
potential. I see the possibilities, and I see this as a definite, uh, future way to do business. So
Agreed.
I'm very excited for this.
The
yeah,
potential is there. The potential for growth is there. Just the screenshots alone and the video
Right.
that Saint sent me so we could do our homework before speaking with you.
yeah.
The potential is enormous. Like this could be the social network or the social platform that wrestling in general has been waiting for. And you're on a gold mine, my friend.
We're hoping it's a gold mine, but there's a little altruism here in that, like, for example, last night we're watching the Facebook movie, which has a lot to do with, and it's the social network, but it's about Facebook, right? And there's a lot about lawsuits and about stealing ideas and so forth. And we're watching the movie, and in the middle of it, somebody who I barely know, who I met a night ago and told about this product, and he's like, "This is great, I want to do it," stumbles upon somebody else who's going, "Hey, putting out feelers. We're kind of interested in maybe trying to do something like this." And he comes to me and he's like, "They're trying to steal your idea." I'm not convinced he was trying to steal my idea. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But if somebody has more money, more skill, can do this better than we can to make the business better, and I'm part of that, it's still going to be a victory. Do I think that it can be a gold mine? I do. I think it can change the business. And one of the things Saint said was that, everybody running promotion, trying to use the same talent on a Saturday, that part of that's because I can't show you analytics yet, because I haven't worked with enough promotions as of yet to show you there's a reason why Raw still sells out on a Monday. And, you can still have a great attendance on a Wednesday or a Thursday or Friday. If the promotion's running right and there's enough draw there, then maybe we can start spreading out some of these shows. But until I can get enough people on board and unified and we can get analytics together, well, without unity, we can't have that kind of direction. But there should be shows with all the promotions, with almost 40 promotions in North Carolina alone. There's no excuse for us not to be running 7 days a week so that talent have 7 different opportunities to make a payday, to travel around, other than we haven't put the system in place yet.
Amen.
It's just a matter of time.
And that's also comes down to the main thing that we spoke on earlier, promotion. If you're promoting it right, and if you're doing it correctly, you could have a sold out show in the middle of the week.
Right.
People are looking for stuff to do after work. Like
Monday Night Raw,
all the time.
Friday Night SmackDown, Wednesday Night Dynamite, Saturday Night Collision, I guess is the new show coming up.
Yeah,
You've
Collision,
got, I would have said NXT or Impact, but they're both taped. Same with, I believe the NWA is taped as well now. I'm not 100% sure. I got to catch up on that product. Yeah. But that's nights of the week, because if it was on the weekends at all times, it more than likely wouldn't get watched as much.
When our society's changing, right? How many stores are moving into, and pandemic shook it up a little bit, but let's be honest. Now that we're starting to recover from it, we're moving in a different direction. How many businesses are 24/7?
Not many anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Walmart. I'm not saying that wrestling needs to be 24/7, but there was that trend and it went away during the pandemic. It's going to come back because we have so many people in the population that we need more hours of operation just in general. That's part of why it was such a big thing.
I miss 24-hour Walmart. I'm going to tell you here and now, because during, before COVID, so I don't want to say BC, but it's still there. It's funny.
Before times.
Yeah, before times.
The before time.
I used to go, especially when I was hurt, because I moved real slow when I walked through the stores, and I couldn't, lift or do a whole bunch of stuff. I would wander through Walmart anywhere from 1 to 3 in the morning and do all my shopping, get home about 4:00, 4:30, and then, make breakfast and coffee and stuff. And then I'd go to sleep eventually. But I always liked going in the middle of the night because there was nobody else there. I could move at my own pace, and it was my chance to get out and walk around. Because I spent 9 months in this thing, essentially.
Right.
I stayed in this chair for about 9 months.
Yeah.
So that was my out, was going shopping in the middle of the night. So I miss 24-hour Walmart to this day because of that.
Same. And I was the late night owl. I was kind of burning late night oil, and I was getting up early because I used to work at Starbucks. So we had to be there early in the morning.
Yeah, sure you did.
So I'd get up, do my grocery shopping, and then go head to work, or whatever I needed. So if it was just convenient, or those late night after work hours, I still have to do grocery shopping, getting off late, doing the late night shift, doing security. I would go buy my groceries and go home. It was great and convenient as hell. Just go down the street, get what you need, and then go home.
Yeah. And I'm convinced that you're going to see more of that trend come back as we get further and further away from the pandemic. But you know what never shuts down? The internet. Right.
True.
And entertainment on the internet and the need for media and content. That never shuts down.
Most definitely.
So I don't know if you guys haven't touched about this. Could this go over into kind of a streaming situation as well, where each promotion, you can categorize each promotion, what streaming time, where they're streaming, if they're streaming, or even better yet, in my head, I pull up the app. Let's say, I want to see something with David Estacado in it. Put his name in, and boom, there's a list of streaming. Oh, you can see David Estacado on this network, on this streaming.
Yeah, I will tell you that's not currently in this iteration of the app. Is it something that I've had vision for? Is it something that's been talked about? Absolutely. But when you're start out, especially a tech start out, you have to start with core functions. So I would love to expand into that, and I think that's an eventual consideration. But I would not advertise we're going to be able to do that at this particular time. But how soon after? That depends on how fast the snowballs. Because the more snowballs, the more popularity that it gets, and the more opportunity we're going to have to take whatever profits that we have and designate into upgrades. And eventually the goal would be to have everything you could ever need in professional wrestling in one spot. Streaming would hopefully be included at that, but it does take up a lot of space as far as servers are concerned, and we have to make enough money to justify that server space before we can expand into those. One thing I do want to take a moment to say, because I know that you have other content that you're going to want to cover here. I just want to make sure that I don't go to see Mrs. Overdriver and she say, "You forgot to ask about the surveys." Our website is overdriver.org. And if you have any interest in what we've talked about, I'm asking you to go to overdriver.org and to take a survey. And if you really love it, it's going to be free to sign up. Join the launch list. The more names on that launch list that we have will show promoters that there will be talent available. We'll have a promoter list as well that'll show talent that we have promoters available. And it will help with any future investment that we're trying to take in to help to upgrade this to be the best tool that we can. The surveys allow you to give us feedback. So along with like what Davin said about streaming or whatnot, any feedback that you have in regards to what we can do to make this your dream app, the mobile app for professional wrestling, the home for pro wrestling, we want to hear it. We want your feedback. So there's talent survey, promoter survey, fan survey, and then more importantly for us personally, the launch list, which we already have a ton of names going on. And we have presence in 6 different states with 13 promotions that have signed up, about another 15 promotions that we're pretty close to closing a deal on, and about 100 promotions overall that we're in negotiations with.
Fantastic.
Wow.
I can't wait, man. Follow-up question, because you kind of mentioned it. Is there a way to invest or help invest in this, or is that part of the survey?
So let's count that as part of the survey at this time. The initial investment has been arranged for. Additional investment is something that is always going to be discussed with a startup company, especially a tech startup company.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely something that we would entertain into considering to do in rounds. As of right now, we're not asking for investment. Everything that we're talking about that I am able to bring to you is considered handled. But we're going to need upgrades. We're going to need, to grow this thing, especially if it continues to be as popular as it's proving to be so far. As this continues to snowball, we continue to get people who share in our vision, such as the Saint and David.
Right. So when looking at this, we got one more screenshot, and then we'll catch back up on the comments.
Sure.
This is what looks to be the fans layout, and it's saying upcoming events for them to attend, and kind of even what's going on there.
Yeah, so that is it is a fan's perspective of events. It's very, very generic. It's a prototype to just kind of show an example of what it would be like. So if you will, imagine that the first one is Pro Wrestling Union, and then the next one underneath that is ACCW, and then you would scroll. You'd find Carolina Pro Wrestling Savage, and be able to click on the shows, see some details, and buy a ticket for it. And then, that ticket would be available for you to scan at the door, or, save in your profile and continue shopping for tickets if that's what you wanted to do, or continue finding wrestlers and promoters that you wanted to follow. So it's a prototype shot of what event building, will look like from the fans' perspective.
Now, when you say partnering up with other or partnering up with promotions, now obviously this is going to have a subscription cost. Am I correct?
No, that's not correct, and I'm glad you asked that, because I think that is something that needs to be heard loud and clear. We are a free to download app, free to set up your profile. Now, we are entertaining the idea of subscription costs for advanced features. So you would consider this a freemium app at best, but it's a free app for what we're talking about. Where is the company going to make any kind of a profit in that is generally like the next question. I'm not insane. Obviously, I know business, but I also know what it's like to be a worker. And so we had to entertain a couple thoughts. Sorry, I did a knee shot to the table there. I didn't mean to shake the screen on you. We had the idea initially going into it of having the same perspective of a talent agent. And not that talent agents are a bad thing. Talent agents are a good thing. However, having had taken the bumps, the concussions, and bled in the ring, I did not feel comfortable, nor did Madeline, in trying to take 10% of what everybody was making for booking costs. And we felt it was also going to be very difficult to sell people on that idea. So what we did is we took a step back and re-examined it. And the problem, or the challenge, if you will, is that anytime that a service has a transfer of fees, we're going to get charged from the bank in order to do that. So we thought instead, let's do a service charge. So the service charge will cover what the bank needs, and maybe at most we're asking for, say, $1 or $1.50 for those transactions, right? So a booking, a convenience fee of, say, $1, $1.50, $3, somewhere in that range, depending on how big the charges are, is kind of where we're settling. So it's going to be, less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks to be able to operate through. And then how much money can you make utilizing those tools will obviously be the transfer. So we've talked about doing subscription fees after launch to maybe lower the service charges or add, elevate where you are in the search engine, those kind of things. But we want people to download it for free, to set up the profile for free, and communicate with each other, because we know they're going to be promoters like, let's say Cole Maccabee, he sends a text message to Brina Royce. Maybe they're going to circumvent. They don't need to use Overdriver for that particular moment, but you'll be able to find a whole bunch of other talent that you'll be able to communicate through and network through. And the advantages of spending $1 on Brina Royce is that, again, you can authorize him to sell tickets for you. And Brino is driven, he's got hustle. Crucifix has hustle. And if they're selling, another 50 tickets for you, that $1 was worth it. And that's where our current business model is designed, is to take advantage of very low, undercutting what any other kind of a talent agency would be, because the boys deserve to keep as much as they can. The promoters deserve to keep as much as they can. We can't do it for free. We can't pay for everybody's business. So we have to make enough to cover the cost and to make just a little bit so that we move into that profit margin to pour back into the business. And that's where we're currently working things out on the payment structure to keep it just very, very almost less than a needle in the arm.
Efficient.
Yeah. I was about to say efficient. Yeah, took the word right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
very efficient.
Keeps the wheel turning, like you said.
Right.
You say it a lot. One hand washes the other. So
yes.
it just.
Yeah, absolutely. And we feel that $1.50 to $3 anywhere in that is just, it's less than a cup of coffee. It's worth it. And then advertising or affiliates are things that we'll be able to make additional funds off of as well. So if the platform grows, obviously that profit margin grows, and then the product gets even more aggressive, and then maybe we start doing streaming and so forth.
Well, another thought that came up with this when you were talking about the promoter paying out the talent.
Yeah.
My question is this thing going to be integrated with like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, or are we talking like a direct to your bank account in there? You see what I mean? Like, because if we're paying, here's where my tech brain went. Okay, I'm paying into Overdriver LLC for some of the premium features. I want that advanced stuff, and I want my name up on top of everybody else's. Sure,
yeah, sure.
I'll pay for that. So if that's the case, that means that my bank account information is already in your system, which would mean, let's say, a promoter in Virginia is running a show, and oh hey, I want to book him, and they pay me through there. Would it would that road of my money coming out into the app be the same as their money coming through the app to me?
So Overdriver is currently using or developing the platform through payment through Stripe, which is one of the largest banking companies in the world as far as digital transactions. And so we're building the app to not need Cash App or any of the other apps, but to be able to handle your bank account information and then transfer directly through Stripe's worldwide security systems.
Okay, that's see, you answered the exact point I was getting ready to go to. Um,
Security. Yeah.
Yeah,
security is a big deal. That's one. The other one is with all the talks of I I have not watched the news since before November of 2020, and I
Sure.
think everybody can figure out why.
Yeah.
It just got ridiculous. Anyway, I do know that the feds are about to put a stranglehold on digital currency and digital transactions, and they're making all these claims about the dollar bill is going away and it's all going to be online currency now. So it kind of had me thinking, okay, which direction does this go? Is it is this way, or is it the next gen way, or is it something completely out of this world?
I, you know, I don't know which way it's going to go, right? I don't think anybody can 100% see. What I would tell you is that my view, my worldview, uh, might be different than some, but the way that I perceive it is that cash is likely to go away, and if it does, where are you going to be as a promoter if there's a cash shortage? Whether it's a conspiracy theory cash shortage or cash itself just becomes worthless because all the gold currency that's supposed to back the dollar bill goes into the digital currency. I don't know, but where are you going to be as a promoter at that time? If you're not able to do cash under the table because it's meaningless and it's worthless. Well, maybe you're already on our system and we're already doing the digital transactions for you with one of the largest companies in the world known for security and efficiency and handling all of that. And you're already ready to keep promoting and to not have a hiccup in the system there.
Yes. Yes, that's all I need to say is yes.
yeah, yeah. Times
Come
are
to
changing, man.
Overdriver. We got
Times,
you.
times are
Right.
changing, man. Like, and he's
Dude,
right. We don't know where that's going to lead, and at this point, you need a way of making the payments, getting that money, and be that proofed.
Yeah.
you're right. We do. That's not the reason I was like right. The reason I was like right is because of the confidence in the process. A lot of people don't understand. Some people look at things, they're like, oh, arrogant, pretentious, and no, confident. Confident. Research has been done,
Yes, sir.
and it shows. It shows that the
Mhm.
research has been done.
Thank you, sir.
How long have you guys? Sincere question. How long have you been working on this from inception?
Yeah. So there are two answers to that. The on the books answer is we've been working on this for probably the better part of 2 years. The deeper answer is that I feel like the journey God has taken me on through my life has led me to this moment. Everything from being a bail bondsman and having to deal with what I think is probably the closest thing to a legalized form of the mafia, to commission sales, to being a professional wrestler and taking the bumps, to having my try at promoting, and being able to take all that together. I had ideas of this kind of a network system, probably the better part of 15 years ago, not long after I got in. But in thinking about that over the time and having experiences of not being paid what I was promised, having friends not paid what they were promised. I had some good friends I'm talking guys that I feel like deserved legitimate shots at being in the WWE or now AEW, or that top tier, that quit the business because of scams that aren't being policed and aren't being looked out for, and seeing those kind of wrongs is an inspiration that drove this, and then seeing what's going on with AWL and NCW and Pro Wrestling Union, CPW, 6 organizations working as a syndicate to honor one guy's memory is the kind of positive that inspires this as well, right? So a life experience of 15 years in the business and 40 years of being a wrestling fan, all kind of coming together with the blessed opportunities that I had in different types of business to put this vision together over the past, again, 15 years. And then in the past 2 years, my wife and I we were blessed enough to be in an opportunity to say, hey, we've got our head above water for the first time in our lives, because we both left marriages that didn't work out for us, and we found each other, and we found a much better synergy, a partner that really elevates you. And we were at a position where it's like, okay, maybe we can take a look at doing something extra. And instead of investing in real estate or vending machines or anything like that, I told her this idea, and she asked about it, and then one thing led to another, conversation after conversation, and here we are. I reached out to some people that I know in the business, and I'm like, am I crazy, or does this make sense? And it just snowballed, as you said before, and here we are now with promoters that believe in this, wrestlers that believe in this, and what I feel is the closest thing that we've had to a legitimate movement for unity that this industry has seen in a long, long time.
It is definitely huge in that aspect. Let's catch up on some comments real quick. Cole said, it is a business. That's the disconnect people have, and it shows.
Yeah, true.
Amen, brother.
Freight Train J said, wrestling is on an uphill. Believe me, I get DMs every day that my vids got them back into wrestling, so we on good footing. That is definitely true.
Love that. Love that.
Majestic Maria's chimed in. That is one half of Peaches and Power Bombs.
Good to see you.
Hopefully, Miss Peach will be reaching out and getting you guys on air soon as well.
Yeah.
Let's see. Freight Train said,
wants.
He said, I miss 24/7 Walmart. Yeah,
it was so
man.
clutch. It really was.
That heartbreaking.
And pairing up with your analytical, tech savvy life partner. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
You said a little something.
True.
You said something a little heartfelt that kind of touched me in the feels here. Realizing that everything that I've gone through, not just in the wrestling business, but in life, kind of led me up to this moment. That you take a lot of lessons, you take a lot of falls, let's say, and a lot of those no's were to lead you up to the yes now, and to have a partner that supports you and is driving with you, taking those 10-hour car trips, promoting you, sometimes even promoting more than the guys that are on the poster.
Yes.
And to have your back like that, dude, it's freaking phenomenal.
It really is. And she's right about the tech savvy part thing. I'm not a tech savvy guy. Like, we are hiring an app company to build this because I'm a vision guy. I'm a creative guy. I love the booking and creative process, and I probably will make more influence in this business out of the ring and in the locker room and on the creative side than I ever did in the ring. Not that I was bad in the ring, but it's the right place. But she has that tech side, and she sees details that I just don't see. And that is the other half of my brain doesn't do what hers does. And it comes together to help answer a lot of the questions that you guys have good points on. And I may not have had the answer if I had not the opportunity to run it by my soulmate, my business partner, and kind of get her perspective and come up with these solutions and problem solve together. And she's a hospice nurse. She is not a wrestling fan until she met me, and now she loves the sport. She loves the indie show. She loves the big league. She just loves it, and that's because she loves me enough to care.
first and foremost, a hospice nurse. I have to give her all the credit in the world.
Oh yeah, she's tougher than I am for sure. I used to
Dude,
chase drug dealers under their bed and drag them out for bail bonds. She's still tougher than I am.
I mean, hospice nurse alone is one thing, though. Man, I can remember being 17 years old,
Yeah.
and this is not a situation I'm proud of either. But I remember cussing at a hospice nurse because of a situation I was in. So,
Sure.
and I looking back, yeah, of course, I was in the wrong. Um, I do think, in my book, the hospice nurse I dealt with definitely could have used a lot better way to explain things than she did to a 17-year-old adolescent male, um, who's also a hothead and watching his father die. So
I'm sorry.
it was just thanks. It was the combustible element there. So like when I tell you I have a lot of respect for people in nursing, uh, I definitely do.
Yes, sir.
So that is crazy to me. I could never imagine being in that. That's not it.
Yeah.
If you're busted open, you're cut. All right, come here. I real quick triage. I got you. I learned that with the feds. No problem. Beyond that, nah, I'm out. That ain't me.
Been there, done that. You
Yep.
was a patient tech for a while. It's rough.
Nah,
It takes its toll
Yeah.
on you, man.
I had
it's rough.
to.
So
What's
shout
the?
out to you, Miss Wright, that you're able to do
Yeah,
that to, fellow patient care medical person. You're a badass.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
And it all comes down to having the right partner to
It really
help
does.
you out. And I totally get it. My brain, and I was hanging out with Miss Kate earlier today, and she said this finally someone understood how my brain works. I'm working 10 chess matches in my head at a time when
Right.
I'm dealing with stuff. Like I have to look at all the angles. I have to see all the angles, the outcomes, and the possibilities. I'm running the mathematics in my head 24/7. And to have somebody kind of like, oh, so that's how your brain works. Let's work. Let's see how we can work this together with what we're doing. It's awesome.
Dude,
It's awesome.
Yeah.
after hanging out with you guys over the weekend in Pigeon Forge,
Mhm.
I was like, dude, the support's there, and it's awesome. So uh, it was cool and refreshing to see, and I'm glad as well, Mr. Wright, that you have that with Madeline. It's one of those things where you can achieve a lot on your own, but man, when you have a partner beside you who's just as hungry and much of a hustler as you are, that's where rubber meets the road, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Magic happens, and the magic is Overdriver.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's made with passion. You can hear the passion in your voice. You can
Thank you.
Miss Wright. We can see you in the comments. You're supporting, and like I think that's the spark that is really pushing your intuition in this. And you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see it. You can feel it. I'm excited just talking to you, and you can feel that excitement from Miss Wright and from the comments, man.
Right.
It's awesome.
I appreciate that. Fortunately, Madeline has she's evolved in her job. She's no longer bedside, but she did that part. She gets the rough part. She moved into the tech side, which is where she's learned a lot of the tech management for their networks and their systems and whatnot. And she gets to bring that knowledge and help me kind of identify what we can do with that here. And I will say this, not to run on too much of a tangent about partners or whatnot, but it's life, right? Wrestling is, it's part of our life, but it's not everything, right? Life has more to it, and partners are just so important to make sure you get right. And we both got ours wrong from the get-go, and I suffered 17 years where I should have left the marriage within 5, and it just was brutal to find that right match. I'm just telling anybody who's either unhappy in a relationship or looking for one, be patient and make sure that you find that partner that synergizes with you and that you guys become symbiotic in lifting each other up and raising each other. Because if they're pulling you down, you got to get away, because they'll just drag you all the way in. You just have to be patient with the right partner, and it's so worth it because it makes everything in life better.
Wow, we just got a therapy session and in a wrestling podcast.
Oh, this. Oh, I'm already getting it ready because this is going out. This is going out on the Apple downloads and everything. This is going to get dropped around the world on top of all the social medias it's at on live right now, including we're live on Roku TV under XWW Extreme World Wrestling. We're on there. We're live on their Roku network.
Love that.
Oh, man. If you love it, you just need to tune in to see where we're going to be next. So that way, you know where to show up, and we can we can all get together. You guys are coming to June 3rd, I believe, right?
Well, so the you guys thing is tricky. We've had this conversation on one of the other pods. We have an 8-month-old and an 8-year-old, and the combination of which is fantastic. I definitely recommend that if you're having a child, wait a good couple of years before the next, because they're so much more helpful. But there's a lot of different challenges there. And with that being the case, Maddie is going to stay home with the kids and support my going on the road to come and support. Actually, we're going to this Saturday, I'm going to support Nick Nitro and ACCW. And then after that, I'm going to the June 3rd show for the Cody David Memorial.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Fantastic. Well, I guess you'll see Ron there.
Yeah, I'll be there. It is, hospice is a very sacred job, and like I say, I definitely thank you for that one. She also said, "Thanks, y'all. The magic is real with that llama in the beanie."
Lorenzo with the shout out. Hey.
Man, Lorenzo Lucha Llama. He got a middle name this weekend. I still don't know how that happened. I don't remember, but it was funny as hell. So we'll just go with that.
Little dude got over. What can I say?
Yeah, dude. There was only 2 things that were very popular at that convention. Lorenzo Llama was one. I think my daughter was the other one.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my God. It was a blast. Anyway, we'll cover that next. Anyway, Mr. Wright, man, this has been a fantastic interview. We have taken up well over an hour of your time.
Wow.
So
As it felt like it. It felt like it's only been 10 minutes, to be honest.
I know. I'm not joy to talk to.
Yeah, hey, this was exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be educational for everybody out there who was on the fence or who didn't know or needs to know. I feel like this was the place where the mic's in your hand. You tell the story. I told you when we talked about this, I wanted to feel like I was getting an education.
Yeah, we did.
And we did. So I feel like this was 100% beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as with this app goes? Do we have a launch suspected date in mind?
Yeah. So in regards to that, we are told by our tech team that we're looking at an 8 to 10 month window before launch. And the reason that we are doing our media blitz right now, and we intend to continue the media blitz through the rest of the year, is because if I wait until I launch and then start getting members on there, you're going to find 2 promotions and 17 wrestlers. That isn't a real draw. So what I need right now is to get out and to get this message of this movement that's going to help make wrestling better and help us change it, so that I can get you to take the surveys on overdriver.org. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you think about what you are seeing, and get on the launch list so that we can grow our user base, so that when we launch, we're going to have a ton of promotions. Like I said, we've got 13 locked down right now in 6 different states. And that's happened within roughly 2 weeks. So if I can spend the next 8 to 10 months getting people to sign up and to believe in what we're going to be offering, and to remind them it's going to be free to sign up. You're not going to lose a penny for jumping on and starting a profile. So help us change the business, help us make it better. Then we'll have a really deep user base. Once we get past our tests and make sure the technology doesn't choke, and then we release it to the market, then then maybe we have 200 promotions and 1,000 wrestlers. And maybe that is where we need to be to really make the change. And I don't think we're there yet, but we're making good progress. And that's what we're shooting for. And that's why we're talking about it so early, because we need your help to make that change. And in anything else that I just want to give a shout out, I just want to say that Michael King of King Enterprises, and everything that he's doing with King Enterprises, they've been really good to us. And they're doing some really special things within the business. So I want to give him a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to Casey Leanne, Cole Maccabee, Jimmy Ward for leading this fantastic movement for the June 3rd show, and Nick Nitro, who I get to do some business with this Saturday at ACCW. Outside of that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but I just want to thank you guys both for this tremendous opportunity to speak this message about the movement. I believe professional wrestling can be better, and that's why we're doing Overdriver.
That's awesome.
Right.
Any prospect of a beta?
Any prospect on a beta?
Yeah.
In other words, like a soft launch. Is there a potential a little stress test?
So we intend to do a stress test. I'm not announcing dates on the stress test. What we intend to do is within that 8 to 10 month period, once we find out the launch date is there, we do intend to approach a couple of our partners to have a test market, to test the technology and make sure that it runs the way it needs to, with a stress test, and then we'll do the official launch. So those dates are there, but they're not public.
Okay, very cool. And
respect it.
And Mrs. Overdriver said, once again, go to overdriver.org, fill out the feedback survey by 6:15, and you will be entered to win a $100 gift card. So that is very cool.
Nice. That's 98 McChickens and a cookie if you play your cards.
That's exactly right. You know,
there you go.
We're happy to do it. I've talked to people about it. I haven't had a lot of positive response. I don't know if maybe $100 lost value since I was in the business. I don't know, but we are gonna do a drawing for a $100 gift card, and anybody who's doing a survey gets entered in that. We draw it on 6:15. We're talking about doing a live stream for the drawing.
Oh, that would be very cool.
That'd be good, yeah.
That'd be very cool, especially if you do it from the Overdriver LLC Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep. That's how you
nice
do it.
plug-in. Nice plug-in. I see what you did there. Hey, that's what we
do.
do.
Listen.
It's like we know what we're doing.
No, I have no clue. I make it up as I go along. Didn't you learn that this weekend?
Yeah. Make a plan. The plan doesn't go through. Make another plan. Throw the plan out.
That's what we call calling it in the ring. I get
yes.
you. Right?
Yes. Call it in the ring.
Yeah.
It is call it in the ring. It's very much a call it in the ring business when you're doing this. I see so many shows that are just over structured, and when they're over structured, they tend to drab on. Ours doesn't. So, hey, I'm down with that part. Right. Hey, somebody else got that reference. You know, I knew I was just an old soul. It's okay. But yes, Kevin Nasta said that llama tried to bite me. Kevin Nasta out of D6 365 Promotions up there in what's he up there?
PA and Jersey.
No, he's in New York.
New Jersey, my guy. Jersey, New York. I know where he's at. I work with the man. The man's in Jersey.
I thought he lived in Manhattan.
No, you're getting your promoters mixed up. This is why we need Overdrive.
Yes,
that's why you need Overdrive.
Yes, this is why I need Overdriver. Yes, so I know where people are from. That'll work. And then shout out to Dalton Brown of Swanton. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. I've been behind Dalton and rest in peace, Matt. I've been behind them since day one, since they came out with it. And they know it. That phone has gone off many a time, and it's been Dalton or hell, I think I've talked to Matt once or twice before his untimely passing. And I met him. I believe I met him at a show as well, or we were all working at one show, NAWA up there, and I don't remember where we were in North Carolina, but it was some place in North Carolina. It was up there. It's like Lincolnton, maybe.
Lincolnton. Yeah, that sounds.
In all fairness, I just want to say that I wanted to say Dalton, but I'm still learning the etiquette in being on one podcaster show? Do you talk about the other podcaster? Is it like being Chris Jericho talking about WWE? Do you get punished like if you say wrestling while you work for the WWE? Like, is it taboo?
No,
So I was just trying to be respectful.
Oh, you're good.
good.
Here. We don't care. Anybody else can tell you what their rules are. Mine's really simple. When you come on the show, and this is almost every guest has been told the same thing. Don't bring up religion and try to stay away from politics. Other than that, I really don't give a shit what you do here.
True.
Absolutely.
That has legitimately been the rules of the show since I started the show.
Well, I appreciate it, and I'm glad he got a shout out as well because I wanted
definitely.
to, but again, I didn't want to step on toes.
No, you wouldn't have stepped on any toes. You saw you were in the chat room with all of us. That's our chat room just for which is weird. I was like, Dalton, I don't have a problem with him being in here. This is our chat room for when we develop a podcast together. Yeah. What are we doing? I didn't know what we're doing, but it works because now we get to, introduce you to all the podcasters in the area, which will hope bleed over into more and more. We're trying to get this thing out there.
I think in the long run, it's going to help you guys because you go jump from podcast to podcast, which, jump from viewer to viewer. It's just going to expand the product, and that works out for everyone.
Yeah, and certainly that's what we're hoping for. But you got to understand, like when I was starting in the business, like promoters, you wouldn't hear of 6 promoters working together to honor one guy and work together in one show. Like there was a lot of like, no, I'm promoting here and you shouldn't even be promoting my territory. And it's like the territory days are over.
Yeah,
it would be a whole thing. So I'm not used to this unity. It's like I'm in a parallel universe where people love each other and hold hands. I don't understand it, but I love it. And I'm here for it.
Well, no, the easy answer is this. We support everybody who supports us.
Yeah,
it's that simple. If the relationships are beneficial, then it's beneficial for all parties.
Beautiful.
I don't go and do anything and expect anything in return. That's not what I mean. What I mean is we try to make sure that if they need anything, we're there. We got their back.
Yeah.
That's what that boils down to. So
I love it.
All right. Well, Mr. Wright, we have taken up way enough of your time, sir.
You're fine, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you very much for being here.
Let's hit up the comments real quick, and then we'll see you out, and I'll let you promote anything else.
She said she, on the other hand, has no chill. Awesome. Then
sounds about right.
No, she needs to be at a wrestling show with us then. Like, there's no way. She's got to be at a wrestling show with us because if she's got no chill, that's what we need there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Went to nursing school in North Carolina. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't talk about college anything. I'm from the DC area. We don't talk about college. We don't talk about college. No. We're grateful for this and every opportunity to get the word out. We believe this app has potential, as do we. Which, like I say, that's you got us on board. We're all in. I hate to use that phrase because of AEW, but I saw the belt there and I had to use the pun.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I love AEW. I'm a wrestling fan. Right. Do the launch list. Join the launch list.
Yes.
Hey, put that link back in there.
We'll do it. We'll do it. Yeah, for sure.
We'll do.
We appreciate you guys so much. We very much do.
Most definitely. All right. Well, thank you very much, sir, and you have a great evening.
Thank you again, Mr. and Mrs. Overdriver, everyone. Round of applause.
And Mrs. Overdriver, yes. Man, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Having some issues there. That was weird. I don't know what happened. Like, I've been trying to get on for like an hour prior to the show.
Right.
And nothing was working.
Right. It's all good. You're here. Dude, what an interview.
Well, that was great. I'm so hyped for this. It's if you're not involved in it, if you're not filling out that survey, y'all are missing out on something big. This is going to be huge.
It's a huge opportunity for everybody in the business to do better business. So that's a great thing because, like you said, there's been some of those people that talk about, how wrestling's like the mafia, and he's not wrong.
No,
he's not wrong. We've walked into shows before knowing that the current market value on a pint of blood is $273. So we know how much we got to take if we don't get paid.
True.
This has happened. This is not wrong. But thankfully, we don't have to inflict those.
Yeah, we have people to do that. We pay
Yeah,
people.
we have people to do that. This
And we
is
can use Overdriver to find people to do it.
Yeah, and now we can use Overdriver to find somebody else to do it. Is that a microtransaction? It's like a fourth wall break inside the fourth wall break.
I know, right? It's so meta. It's so
16
meta.
walls. It's great. Oh my god! Speaking
One
of
last
great,
time, put up the link so people know what we're talking about. It's going to be www.overdriver.org, and then there's a link directly to the launch list that Miss Overdriver actually just put in the chat.
there is that, and if I could, I know how to do this. I now thought about it. I'm like, I would just go straight to here and pull up the thing.
Do the thing.
I'm going to go to the thing and then take the video and then get the comment out of the video and then copy it over. So that way,
That's just too much work.
no, it isn't. It is. But
All you had to do was do what you did earlier and just.
You can't copy the form link over.
No, you freaking goober. Here, I'll do it since you don't know. Here,
What?
everyone who wants to be involved, there's the link.
That. Yeah, but I was going to put it.
Also, this guy.
Yeah, okay, that works too. But what I was saying, sir, is that I was going to actually take the link that's in there and apply the link into the comment section. So that way it was there again and it goes out across all the socials instead of just the Facebooks. See? So you thought you had.
Well, I mean, they can see it. Everyone can see the comments on the TVs.
Well, just because Ray Charles can see it doesn't mean anything. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's talk about this weekend, man. So it was
a
cool.
lot.
It's been a year since you and I hung out, so that was cool.
That was fun, yeah.
My daughter got over better than anybody else in the building except for Lorenzo Lama.
True.
Dude, she had a blast though. She's like, I was not fully out of the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Miss Kate.
Me
I'm
too.
like, yes.
Me too.
Yes, honey. She's a very nice lady. Well, I hope they move closer. That's what she told me.
Oh my
I hope
goodness.
they move
Yeah,
closer.
she was doing it to me all weekend. Just like Doc was doing it to Audrey, moved to Tennessee. She's like, you need to move down to South Carolina. I'm like, I'm thinking about it. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Working on it.
Dude, either way. So we had a ball, man. We had wrestlers come up and hang out. We had AJ Kazana do an interview on a kid artist across the hall.
I don't think the kid knew what was going on.
I don't think AJ knew what was going on, but it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
It was great. We had Joe Kazana and we had Dr. Tom Pritchard come and sit down with us. Man, they sat there for an hour. We only broadcasted about a half hour, 40 minutes of it.
It's like an hour and a half. They just kind of chilled with us. I'm like, do y'all need anything? The funny thing is, they started about just talking about food and coffee, and then
we started talking about coffee,
and it just went to a right turn of coffee and Ricky Morton's coffee. It was funny. I was trying to tell him the story, and I forgot about it. I remember the first time I met Ricky Morton was at a show, and I was kind of like working up the courage to go talk to him because, I didn't want to look like a mark, but I'm glad I did because I went to go get something signed for a buddy of mine. As I go up to the man to go say hello and introduce myself, I didn't know it, but he had just farted and he was wafting a fart in my general direction. So as I go to shake his hand, he was wafting. And he's like, "Oh, sorry about that, son. You were kind of in my general direction." I'm like, "Oh, it's an honor to be farted on by you, sir." That's all I can say.
Oh, Jesus Christ, David. Oh Lord.
True story.
The first time I met, well, I mean, I think I met him at the gathering, and then the very next day we were working a show together. And I actually got a moment to speak to him and say, "Hey," I walk into his locker room. It's him, Kerry, Sam Houston, Bobby Fulton, Derek Vanderford. I think that was it. maybe George South was in there. I don't 100% remember, but it was like them 5 in there, and I'm like, God, am I the most out of place son of a bitch on the planet right now?
Speaking of gathering, are we going to the gathering?
I will have to. Well, that's an
look,
outside. We'll put a pin on that over here.
All right.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in that. It's over here.
All
So
right,
we will have to have a. Yeah, I got to clarify some things about the thing and the guy with the place, and go from there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we got to talk about the thing.
The ink has not yet dried on some contracts. I got you.
Yeah. Yes, this is very true, dude. Another thing I want to say is this. Guys, thoughts and prayers out to our buddy Eric Nelson of Stranglehold Championship Wrestling. Not going to tell you a whole bunch of details. Just know our friend is in the hospital. So thoughts and prayers to him.
Send you all the good juju, man.
Yeah, positive vibes, my friend. For real, positive vibes. But let's see. And then we had the mother truckers over there. And all right, so listen, I know where you're going because I saw you start to giggle. Yeah. So look, here's what happened when I don't know when Mama Trucker said, well, look at him, he's done turned red. He's as red as his shirt. That's because I didn't know at what level I could go with him to, because part of me was like, well, I'd rather be turning red than blue, but I didn't know if that would have been too far or not too far for them, so I didn't want to.
Oh, they probably would have escalated even farther. Knowing
I know, but it's what. Look. We're doing decent right now. Let's try not to get canceled on the way in, okay, babe? You know what I'm saying? I don't want
it's
that.
Still technically a family show, and I don't want to lose the affiliate on the Twitch.
We are?
Well, Twitch. Remember, we're still live on Twitch, so we don't want to lose that. So, yes.
How are we a family show on Twitch as much as I cuss on air?
Well, we can cuss. There's other things that we can't, discuss, but, But anyway, moving
okay.
on.
Gotcha. Well, we can't talk about the butcher shop, the brown chicken, brown cow. Gotcha. No problem. Understood. I got that one. And for those of you who didn't, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you missed out. It was hilarious. And then watching Saint just lose his shit.
Yes, I oh my God, I had to back up.
Apparently we're doing a calendar shoot, and I'm wearing blue Daisy Dukes.
You're wearing what?
The Dukes, the
oh God,
the Hoochie Daddy shorts is what we're calling them now.
I didn't know that we were. I thought that was the what? No, she said wrestlers. I'm not a wrestler, so I'm not
talent. You talent. You count.
No, she said wrestler. She didn't say talent. She said and I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not talent, but I am going to say I'm not a wrestler. Okay. Come on now. So anyway, man, what else? Just everybody was there, man. Heath Slater and the Boogeyman, Jordan Grace, Thunder Rosa,
Sabu, Santana
dude,
Jackson,
dude, two of the nicest guys.
Yeah.
Two of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. For everybody who's ever said a foul word about Sabu, dude, let me help
chill.
You. He was so freaking humble. Like, it was ridiculous.
I just didn't get a chance to sit down and talk with him because he was really cool. Like, he watched Santana's booth while we were like trying to get the interview with him, but then something else came up. So he was really cool and chill guy. I just didn't get a chance to say hello. It's one of the kind of like a couple of few regrets that we didn't get. Because we wanted to get David, Dr. David on the show, but that didn't happen.
He left like really quick.
Yeah.
He was there and gone like ridiculously fast. But Jordan Grace was there. Jonathan Gresham was there, and oh my God, are they both jacked?
We nerded out. We did. We nerded out. We talked chess. We talked video games. It was cool.
Oh, you did? Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. I did not do that.
You got to network, man. You got to go out and
somebody had to stay with the table, and
we took turns.
I took my turn outside to go smoke. Hey,
even Lorenzo went and did some work done. Just some networking, man.
That's good. And we did get our promo pictures done. That was nice. That was very cool. Can't wait to see those. I sent the guy.
They're already out there. They're out there on the Facebook, man.
Huh.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Shout out to John. He did a fantastic job on those
Oh,
promo
wow.
pictures. Everybody looks amazing. First, of course, the first thing he dumped out was the Lorenzo pictures. Everybody taking the pictures with Lorenzo was great.
Yeah.
You look amazing, dude. You look like a star. I told you. I had to give this man some pointers.
Yeah, I've never done promo pics. I've
He's
never done promo pics
pics.
before.
He's never posed. So he had
No,
to do his little thing on the catwalk.
no,
But I had to help him.
never done any of this shit. I look because I'm not that guy.
You were a natural, bro.
I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. I'm support. I'm the ring announcer if you need it. I'm the camera guy if you need it. I'm support staff, or I'm a mouthpiece on this podcast. I love to talk shit, but as far as the promo pics and all this, I had no idea what the hell I was doing.
It was funny though because I was like going through them, and you had the exact same pose. So like, you had like the jacket, no jacket, no jacket.
That's great. What else am I supposed to do?
Hold on, give me a second. I'll be right back.
Oh Jesus, this motherfucker! I can already tell you what's coming. If you didn't know, we're about to find out. Anyway, so it was a cool experience. They got another one of those coming up. In October, I think. October, maybe August. I think it's October. So here's hoping that we will see about attending the next one and being involved. We will definitely go from this experience and kind of see what it leads to in the next. I'll have to work on that eventually. Let's see here. So, like I say, it was a lot of fun. There was just a lot of different stuff there, man. You had a little bit of everything at this convention. They had people doing cruises and Disney vacations and shit, travel agency. They had that. You had all these toy collectors. We had the Tennessee Iron Man. He was cool as hell. Very cool. And man, funny, timing, funny, very funny. So I thought he was excellent. Got interviewed by a podcast. I think a couple of us got interviewed on other shows, and we got interviewed other people on our shows. Artists, there was all kinds of artists there. There was actors there. You had lookalikes because you had a dude looking like Negan from The Walking Dead and Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. So that was awesome.
Got to meet Tony Stark. I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little vain about it because look, let's be on. I'm gonna be honest. All right, I've changed the diet. All right, lost a little weight. I'm feeling myself. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like I look. Everybody was telling me, "Hey, you're looking good. You lost some weight." I'm like, I don't feel it. I don't see it. But having everybody else kind of like, all right, cool. Maybe I do look good.
Yeah, you do. What are you doing?
I'm doing the thing.
What are you doing?
The thing.
Anyway,
look, check it out. Look at that. That's a handsome mofo right there. Look at him. Look, he's so sexy, so spicy.
You gotta put it up on screen, genius.
I did. I'm shutting it off.
I did.
Well, the fans can see the sexiness that's on their screen, aka Daddy David. Look at that. That is a handsome fella. Now look at this guy. Look how professional he look like a natural. Got the bow tie. You got the jacket.
I got my keys hanging out like a jackass. Yeah.
I told you to get rid.
Man,
you look good. Look, man. This is his first promo pics, by the way. I think the guy looks good. Look, mira que nice.
Man, I'm not a big fan of having my picture taken anyway. So there's that.
What do you think, chat? Do you think he looks pretty good? Do you think he's doing a good job? I feel like he is. Let's see. Look, this is what I mean.
Look at my hand.
Like it just disappeared. I was Oh, that's
Except
great.
my
Like,
shirt looks like absolute shit on what's that, my left hand side, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now you started feeling yourself. You started
Oh
getting
yeah,
comfortable.
you were like say something, and I'm sitting there mouthing "what the fuck" into the microphone while guy takes the picture. And you and the photographer both started laughing, so that
Oh,
was
great.
good.
Oh, that's me and the lovely Miss Kate. Great
Oh
support.
yes,
Great partner.
yeah.
And there we go. That was
Oh
just the
man.
pictures.
Oh look, he's joining the launch list for Overdriver. That's what Davin's doing. Davin's going to sign up for the launch list.
Yeah, damn right, sir.
As what he is doing. Yep. And then Freight Train J said Saint has the face of an
This is
angel.
about angel.
The fuck? I was trying to find a witty comeback for that, and I just don't have
No,
one.
you got nothing.
Angel
And then-
soft, maybe toilet paper, potentially.
With the lolos.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus. But anyway, so yeah, we had a good time this weekend in Tennessee. Dude, it was a lot of good networking. It was a good
It
experience.
was great. It really was. Like, it was a great experience, great chance to kind of interact with other people outside of North Carolina's. Meeting Joe Kazana was great, and how humble he was, man.
Dude,
like,
very.
I don't think he realized how much of an impact he has made. Like, legit, and you see it in the interview,
Right.
and then to have Doc kind of like, hey, nah, bro, like, list what he's done, and then Doc being there, it's been great.
Right. And then, one of the coolest things, besides how cool everybody was with my kid, like that's to me, that's the ultimate thing. You can't beat that. I can't beat how cool they were to a little girl who just that morning decided to jump in the truck with her father. Like that was a that morning decision. I was putting on my suit and she said, I kind of want to go. And I was like, you ask your mom. If she says yes, you can go. If she says no, you can't go. Like, it's this simple. And she was like, I don't care, go. I was like, well, there you have it. Go get dressed and make sure you got this, this, and this, and we're good. And out the door we went. So, it was cool to see her walking around in one of my shirts. That was cool.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
that's
Like,
cool.
and how excited she was to help. Like, she asked to be the camera person.
Yes, she wanted to.
Yes, we couldn't say no because we were
No.
trying to, like, no, let Miss Kate's here for that. We were trying to, but I was like, I can't say no to this kid. Like, she wants to be the camera person. Just follow us around, kid.
Yep. Yeah. You just follow us and we'll. And, the only time I did kind of direct how she went was when she was walking through the chairs, and that was so she didn't trip. That's all that was. I wasn't pushing her towards any particular talent, no matter what some talents may think out there. That's not what happened. I was guiding her so she didn't trip because she's got boats for feet just like her father. And
I was wondering why you were going through a crowd of chairs. I'm like, we haven't even gone to this side of the venue yet.
I was trying to avoid some of the stuff that was over that way. But no, I'm just playing. There wasn't anything. That was a dead wall. There was a dead wall there, and then you had where I was pushing her through the chairs. There was a dead wall. Then on the other side, we had already been through. That was the Rick Grimes and them over there in that corner.
That's right.
So yeah, that was a dead zone, sir. You think I don't know? I had been walking the place for an hour and a half before you showed up that morning. Thank you very much.
I was there earlier, so yeah.
Yeah, no, you were there the night before because you got there the day before. Yeah,
true.
I
had a hot tub. It was great.
Nice, very
Yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
very cool.
I got it. If I'm taking care of talent, I have to take care of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I entirely agree. And like I told you, man, Tennessee's a great place to go. We got I was like a condominium one time. It was like a cabin condo thing that I rented.
That's dope.
Right after COVID, right after the Rona. And it was, you come in on the main drag into Gatlinburg, you hook the right, and you're on the main strip, and boop, it's like the first thing on the right. It's right there. You could still smell the burning shit from when it was on fire a couple months prior. Okay. And dude, when you open up the door and this place was built, like a palace, and you got a hot tub in the master bedroom, hallelujah. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That it inspired me. That's like, well, I have to have a hot tub in my room now. So
Nice. Very nice.
That's what I'm building. I build things. I like to build things.
Well,
I may not be able to do it all, but I can build it here and then pay people to build it here. So that's
the way to do it.
Right.
So you missed out, man. Like you left early. I get it. You had to get back home. You had to work. The show was amazing.
Was it?
The show was nuts. Getting to see things, another promotion set things up. And let me tell you, that ring that Joe Kazana has, beautiful, immaculate. And I've having Miss Kazana help and having her, wow, like that ring was set up and tore down like that by 3-4 people.
Wow,
it was nuts. She had that shit organized in and out, ready to go. But that being said, no, the show is great. Kind of watching it from the crowd and watching it from somebody who, watching from Miss Kate's perspective and watching her enjoy the show, get into it was really neat. Watching it because I sat with Joe Kazana as well as watching, critiquing, scouting. As he was doing, he made sure that everybody, call the office, leave a message. He'll get right back to you. Who's busy watching a wrestling show, scouting talent. Was really cool. The battle royal was crazy. The matches, you had everybody from Hit Club Pro coming in, Heroes and Legends. There were belt exchanges, controversy, injuries. You missed out. It was a crazy night. I thought Chase Stevens was going to retain. He did not retain.
Oh wow,
which is crazy. I'm excited. It was nuts. You have to go back. If you haven't worked there live, you missed out on a lot. It was pandemonium.
Man, like I say, if I hadn't have been tightly scheduled like I am all the time now, and part of that's my own fault. But in some cases, dude, like I didn't have the ability to be there that night and stay much longer. And I'll be honest with you, I am glad I left when I did, because I'm not gonna lie to nobody. I don't remember that last stretch of 26 in North Carolina. I don't really remember that part. So, I mean, I was there and I was awake, and my daughter was asleep. She fell out 15 minutes after we got something to eat. And of course it was trash. McDonald's. I mean, road food. I'm not a big McDonald's person anyway. But
yeah, probably the only thing I really get from them is the steak, egg, and cheese bagel. I'm glad they brought that back.
That was my go-to from them for a while. The chicken McGriddle for breakfast is fantastic as well. Nuggets and fries was what we got. Nuggets, fries, and lemonade. And wait. The McDonald's was closed, right? Yeah. So the McDonald's was actually closed. Their system had shut down. Because I remember now why I wanted to go to McDonald's. I wanted a coffee. I'm not a big fan of their coffee, but I wanted coffee.
Oh, Dunkin's is better. We've had this discussion with the Doc.
Dunkin. Anyway,
he was mad because you teased him with the donuts, man. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, I mean, I didn't get coffee at Dunkin' either, sir. So there's that. What I ended up doing, we went over to Wendy's, and Wendy's was like, "No, we don't have coffee." I'm like, Jesus, the one thing I want is a cup of coffee. And I didn't feel like stopping again. I wanted to get back on the road. So either way, we trotted on down the road. I ended up getting coffee at like a Circle K or something later on in the evening. Thank God, because I needed it. I went ahead and topped the truck back off. It was only the second time I had to fill up that day. Up and down the mountains. Dude, those roads are ridiculous.
Ugh.
Those roads are ridiculous. Let's see here. Freight Train Jay chimed in and said, "Damn, I enjoy this fucking show." Brother, we enjoy having you here. Thank you.
Thank you for watching, mate. I appreciate it.
Joseph Brandy Retequez chimed in, and that
hey, guy.
is do what?
Hey, guy. I was just saying hello.
Oh yeah, that is from the Dude at Ringside podcast. He said, "You have a friend with you." Yes, this is my co-host David.
Hey, how you doing? And
yeah.
this is Lorenzo.
Yeah,
Lorenzo
that's
Lucha
Lorenzo
Lama.
Lama. Yep, Lorenzo Lucha Lama. Dude, he's up. He's not too far from you either. He's up there in the New York, New Jersey, that area.
Yeah, I'm in the Lower East Side, PA, right now. Till the end of the month.
Until look, until you cross that Mason Dixon line, that's y'all are in the same area. Okay, I'll make it simple for you. That's how we put it here. That's how I put it. Even when I was in Maryland, that's still the north above there. Maryland's not the north. If you think it is, go to St. Mary's County. I promise you're wrong. 100%.
But no,
tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. You're wrong. Anyway,
no comment.
No comment. Right.
No, but no, like that night was great, man. The matches were on point. Hit Club Pro making their second debut here. Well, the second appearance at the con was great. Alexander Moss coming out. Black Disc Jack. You never know what's going on with Black Disc Jack. That man is completely unpredictable, and that match had an unpredictable ending. Yeah, I'm just going back. The Battle Royal was nuts. Gustavo got to see El Primo go live, go one-on-one. Yo, Primo, you shouldn't be in those kind of situations with a big man like that. You could dance around all you want. You got the rhythm. You got the ritmo. Whew. You had me scared there for a moment. You took the W, but barely. We need to talk, Primo. We need to talk about that.
Gotcha. Well, man, look, I gotta get out of here very shortly. So here's what we're gonna do.
All right.
We're gonna run through the shows, and that's because I have a 6 o'clock, a 6 a 6 a.m. 6:30. Let me check my ticket here. 1 second.
I hear you. Actually, I got an appointment in the morning. Thank you.
No, it's no. My flight leaves at 6:35 a.m. I got to go to Dallas in the morning.
You're doing the thing.
That's yes, right. I'm doing the thing. I'm going to Dallas, and then I'm coming back. So I've already scheduled my Uber to be at the airport to pick me up at 9. Because I was trying to use another car service, and of course, I can't
work.
No, God no. Why is it that Uber is the most cheapest route that you can do this, and it's also the most effective? It blows my mind. It blows my. It's the opposite of the way I would have thought it would have gone. But anyway, so I've ordered. I got to finish ordering my Uber. I'll do that in a few minutes, or I'll do it tomorrow while I'm sitting at the airport.
No, I would do it now because there may be a chance that it might not show up there because it might be used. But that being said,
here's a thought.
Let's run on through.
Here's a thought. Here's a thought, dude. Here's a thought. Listen to this. Why in the hell would you expect a car service to not run?
Because it happens. It has happened to me. I have missed out on a booking because of an Uber. I had planned it the day before, and the Uber canceled on me, dude. It has happened. I did the Uber. They were going to come pick me up. I missed out on a show because of that. From now on, do it ahead of time because there might be a time during that time frame no one's running. It has happened.
Wow.
From personal experience. It sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I should have concierge service in all honesty, but I digress. It's okay. I'll accept it. I'll allow it. We'll go with that.
I'll allow it.
Yeah. Man, look, coming up next Friday night, that's May 26th at Lenny Boy Brewing, XWW presents Mega Mayhem. Free admission to Lenny Boy. This is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Guys, you don't want to miss this. Next Thursday, we'll be talking about it. We will have representation from XWW live on air, so we will get the full card. We'll get as much of the layout and information as we can heading into that show.
We're gonna be hyped for that one. It's gonna be great.
Very hyped for that one. The very next day, you will find me yet again at AWL's Welford Pavilion for the Dr. Tom Pritchard seminar. Check out the time on this, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
He's going to run you through your drills. He's going to run you through your fundamentals. He's going to run that promo. If you're not there checking it out, you're missing out on a gold mine of information. This is going to up your game guaranteed. And for $35, that's a bloody steal.
I'm taking the whole bag of coffee. I'm not even going to brew it here. I'm just going to go get a fresh batch of Death Wish and take it with me to Dr.
That's
Tom's
his payment.
seminar.
That's the payment. Listen.
No, I think I'm just engineering on that job anyway. I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm working AV and some camera stuff. But that's about it. Yeah. I got to get a new card for my digital or for the camcorder, the hand cam. I got to get a new card for it because the one I have is not big enough to hold 7 hours. So I definitely want a full card for that.
Best Buy and Amazon. What's next?
Oh, you.
Oh, this is me. Oh, I'm so hyped. We got to meet Juventud.
Yes, we did.
It was great. Juvi, I'm going to be reaching out to him, see if we can get him on the show. But hey, he's going to be Sin Cara versus Juventud Guerrera, June 3rd, Saturday in Raleigh, North Carolina. You don't want to miss that UPW inaugural show, United Pro Wrestling Unleashed. It's going to be a stat card, an awesome night of wrestling. Come out. If you want tickets, they're still available. Make sure you use promo code Estacado. That's right. Last name. Save some money on some tickets. Tickets are only $20. Go to upwunleashedeventbrite.com for tickets. Get them now.
Hot damn. Now, the very next day, or very same day, in a state not so far away, the David Cody Memorial is happening June the 3rd. This is a multi-promotion sponsored event. It's going to be fantastic. As you can see, American Wrestling League, Classic Pro Wrestling Union, NCW, See No Evil Wrestling, and Titan Wrestling Society all together to bring you the David Cody Memorial. And we've got most of the cards sitting out here. And what we've done is this. We did one very special thing for this place as well.
What do we do? Can we talk about it?
We opened up the entire week. Normally, this is the Thursday Night Indie Spotlight. We're on air on Thursdays. We're coming to see you guys here and now, and that's it. And occasionally, we do a little spot show here or there. I told the guys, the promoter, and any of the promoters, I said, listen, I know normally we just do the one show a week. I'll do something different for you because it's 10 matches. It's huge, right? The whole week is open for them. If they want an interview on a specific night, if they want a promo spot on a specific night, the whole week, we're available for that whole week. Bring you on air, bring your opponent on air, talk your shit, get your match over to the crowd, get the crowd invested, get the crowd in the door. Yep. So, asses in seats. So it's an open door invitation to all of them. We've already had Corey Sparks and Garrett Sinclair both pop on and say something. You've got Crucifix versus Commodore Legion, and that is going to be for the NCW Championship. We've got Jeff Connolly and Devin Cruz going up against Whiskey Business. That ought to be fun. That really should be fun.
That's going to be a fun match.
Dude, Jeff Connolly's got one of the best clotheslines I've ever seen in my life. Chris Valla versus Antonio Morgan. Two big boys throwing meat. This is going to be nuts. You've got Moody versus Suicide. I am very, very excited for this matchup. I really can't wait to see this Moody, who's been in the game for about a year, had his debut about a year ago, go up against a ring veteran like Suicide. We've got Buggy and Brittany Jade going up against Luca Daniels and Jasmine Howe. That is going to be a barn burner because Brittany and Jasmine both like to hit really hard. And Buggy and Luca have had their issues over the last year in several promotions across other states. So that's going to be one for the ages. We've got the CPW title on the line. That's Cam Jackson defending his CPW title, almost 4-year reign against the Black Cat, Dion Johnson. we have the blue chipper Chase Emery with Derek Vanderford going up against the blue collar badass AEW's own JD Drake. We also have champion versus champion. The Rolls Royce of Wrestling, Brino Royce, will be taking on the top dog of the industry, Bebop. Now, what we've understood with this is that Brino Royce's title is on the line in this matchup.
Title versus title. Champion versus champion. Gold on the line. You don't want to miss out on that.
Folks, you don't want to miss this. Check this out. Buy tickets @/AWL. You can buy your tickets in advance for $15 right now, or you can be a doofus and wait and pay it at the door for $20. Here's my thought process on that. So you can spend $60 at the door and get 3 tickets, or you can spend $60 right now and get 4 tickets. My math is mathing. All right. My math is mathing. And
it checks out. You carried a 0. It makes sense.
Carried a 1. I got you. Yeah. So, man, it works out. We've got concessions. There's live music. It's going to be a hell of a show, man. It is going to be one hell of a show.
It sure is. DMV, Manassas, Virginia, get ready because Damon's coming home, calling the action at Intense Action Wrestling in Manassas at the Boys and Girls Club in Manassas, Virginia. You don't want to miss out. This is going to be a fantastic show. It is the birthday week of Damon. Come celebrate me, your favorite, that weekend, July 15th on Saturday. Come hang out. Have some drinks.
Aren't you gonna offer pictures with you and Lorenzo for that
of course
show?
Lorenzo's gonna be there. Lorenzo has to be there.
There you go. Coming up the very next week, Saturday, July 22nd, Pro Wrestling Union presents Heatwave. This is going to be another banger show. We are waiting for the card to get finalized before all of the matches get announced. But notice, I see a lot of champions on that card. You got Buggy Wright. You've got the Heat Seekers.
Yeah, I gotta admit, that kid has grown on me. That kid has grown on me.
Buggy Wright?
Yeah, he's grown on me.
Oh, you damn right. Okay.
That kid has some heart and some balls. Let me tell you.
He's got. He's a very competent competitor. Okay, very competent competitor.
Agreed. Agreed.
Man, and that's what we got lined up coming up to you. And that's what we got for the show for the week. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all learned something because I sure as hell did. I'm excited for Overdriver LLC. Y'all need to get on that app. You need to get signed up. You need to get it going on. Get in on that. Hey, look, not that I really want you to take away my chances at a free $100 gift card because I already did the thing to get my $100 shot. But, the more the merrier in the long run. So it's okay. I like competition. So,
yeah, it breeds innovation. And I think this is what has come to is Overdriver. Let's play that one more time and then we'll head out. What do you think?
That is nice. Overdriver.org. All right, guys. Well, that's been the show. Thank you all for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. And as always, we'll see you.
We'll see you at the Indies.
At the Indies.
Deuces.
We got to work on that exit part. Or at least I'll say the first part and you say the second part.
Well, I think that's what we're supposed to do it together. You're ruining it. We're supposed to do it at the same time. Lorenzo was on point. You were not.
I was not. Okay. So how about I say the first part and you say the second part and we call it a day?
All right.
All right. We'll see you
at the Indies. Damn it, man.